converter theft ring investigation.
We've got a warm but very windy day on tap for us today. Showers and thunderstorms are on the way. We're going to break it all down coming up.
And the Latino vote could be key in the upcoming midterm elections. We take a look at the political shift.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The FBI and a number of federal and state agencies bust a huge crime ring after an investigation reveals thousands of catalytic converters stolen from vehicles across the country. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, authorities charge more than 20 people and say defendants from California and Oklahoma bought stolen catalytic converters from street thieves and then sent them across the country to New Jersey, where precious metals were extracted and sold for $500 million. Catalytic converter thefts have exploded, at one point jumping more than 1,200% during the pandemic. Kristen Weaver takes us to Coweta, Oklahoma, where dozens of officers swarmed a building Wednesday morning.
Enforcement surrounded this blue building. A helicopter watched from above, and people in custody sat lined up by this TPD truck this morning.
I see huge trucks, guys with assault rifles or, guns drawn and shields.
Jeremy Jones owns JT Wholesale Auto next door. He says he got in just before 9 today, and agents quickly told him to get back as he watched everything unfold.
There's been at least 20 guys with, rifles and just crawling all over our property, all over surrounding the buildings.
Homeland Security confirms this was part of a massive catalytic converter theft ring and says this was one of several investigations. We watched as they loaded countless converters into a semi-truck until it was full. Jones says he owns the blue building and has rented it out for about 2 years. He says he was aware of the car parts but had no idea something criminal was happening.
Nothing abnormal. These guys they rent from me. They rent these buildings and they pay their bill. They pay their rent every month.
The National Insurance Crime Bureau says catalytic converter thefts went up from 1,300 in 2018 to more than 52,000 nationwide by 2021. Thieves will steal the parts since they have expensive precious metals and can be sold for a high cost.
Again, that was Kristen Weaver reporting. The Department of Homeland Security said searches and seizures took place in Oklahoma, California, Wyoming, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Nevada, North Carolina, and Virginia. In total, 21 individuals in 5 states were arrested and charged for their roles in the conspiracy. Well, we've had a pretty calm week so far, but there are changes headed our way. Chris Warner joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, we do have some big changes headed our way in terms of at least some showers and thunderstorms as we head into Friday. Right now, though, the skies are partly to mostly cloudy for most of us, and depending on which direction this camera's pointed, you can actually, if you get a good point of reference, you can see just how quickly the clouds are moving because it is quite windy out there, and we are still well above where we should be for this time of year in terms of highs and lows. 64 is where we should be for a high, and 42 is where we should be for a low. And that's not where we're at all. Skywatch Storm Tracker is quiet for the time being, even on a bigger view. Quiet for now, but that cold front's going to be making its way in here and it will start to shake things up a bit. We could see an isolated strong storm or two in our very far western counties in this brown outline. This is a very low-end wind risk with some stronger storms, and then this outline here is for a low-end hail risk. Overall, the severe threat this evening is fairly low. As we head into tomorrow, though, that changes a bit, and we'll talk about that. So talking about where we should be and where we are, 73 in Joplin, 71 Pittsburgh, 68 in Neodesha, 71 in the water. And remember, we should be in the 60s for maximum daytime highs, and we're still heading for a high of 75 today under partly to mostly cloudy skies. May see a stray shower or two around 8 o'clock this evening. But there's more rain chances on the way. We're going to break down those rain chances, when they're going to get here, and what kind of thunderstorm situation we're looking at here in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Well, Election Day is just 5 days away, and heavy hitters from both parties are now on the campaign trail. President Biden is warning that democracy is on the ballot next Tuesday. Former President Barack Obama had a similar message in Arizona while stumping for Democrats. As candidates make their closing arguments, polling shows Republicans are poised to win a majority of seats in the House, with the economy and inflation top concerns for voters. Now, if Democrats lose ground in Congress, they may learn something from the political shift in Florida. That state's Latino voters have moved firmly to the right. Christian Benavides reports from Miami on the trend and why it's happening.
Florida Democrat Debbie Mukersel-Powell has a cautionary tale for her party. Elected to the U.S. House in 2018, she lost her seat 2 years later when her majority Latino community took a hard turn to the right.
I think that it was a combination of factors, but misinformation absolutely was part of the reason.
Mukersel-Powell points to a GOP-financed campaign, spreading fears Democrats will bring the policies of socialist countries that many Latinos fled.
We are focusing on improving people's lives every single day. We're focusing on reducing healthcare costs. What is radical about that agenda?
A recent poll shows Democrats holding a 27-point advantage with Hispanic voters nationally, but it's a sharp drop from nearly 40 points in 2018. Take Miami-Dade County, long considered a Democratic stronghold. Latinos here account for 69% of the population. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won the county by 30 points. In 2020, President Biden won by just 7.
Hispanics led.
Giancarlo Sopo is part of that change.
The Democratic Party is clearly moving in a left-wing direction, whether it's on economics or social cultural issues. And most Hispanics are common sense, middle-of-the-road voters with, I would say, traditional or conservative values. And we don't want anything to do with that.
Sopo says that's why Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is on track to win the Latino vote in his re-election bid, which would make him the first Republican in a generation to do so.
People are just fed up with the Democrats. They've taken our communities for granted.
And while Democrats are hanging on in states like Arizona, the GOP may have Latino voters to thank for some gains this election day. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
The Rio Grande Valley is seeing the impact of the Latino voting shift. During a June special election, Texas Republican Myra Flores flipped a House seat in a heavily Hispanic district. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at Noon. Scientists in Spain are on the hunt for grapes that are more resistant to climate change. And later, how to make easy marmalade Dijon pork chops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Climate change is threatening the wine industry, and researchers in Europe are on a mission to turn things around with the help of science. CBS's Tina Kraus reports from London.
Celebrating a successful wine harvest is a centuries-old tradition. But these days, winemakers are struggling with the impact of a warmer climate. Rising temperatures around the world mean grapes are maturing faster than ever before, leading to higher alcohol levels and weaker colors and aromas.
This is our vineyard, Feyorigo, that we have planted to fight against the problems of global warming.
This Spanish vineyard went from planting straight rows to curvy ones. It helps water stay put when rain doesn't come often enough. A group of scientists in the region is taking it a step further, opening a vine and wine research institute to identify the grape types most resistant to climate change. Experts are extracting DNA from crushed vine leaves to determine the vines best equipped to handle changing weather conditions.
Looking for those traits, those differential traits that can make the vines to be better adapted to environmental conditions.
Researchers say vines 35 years and older seem to cope better with climate change because they're more genetically diverse. Scientists say the goal is to help growers plant climate-resilient vines that help climate-proof wine for centuries to come. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Spain is the third largest wine producer in the world. Italy and France are first and second. Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
60 years ago, Americans spent about 90 minutes a day eating dinner together. Now, that time has dwindled to a pathetic 12 minutes. So, what can we do?
But first, we've got some showers and thunderstorms on the way. We'll break down their arrival and their impact coming up. We've got another warm and windy day for us today. In fact, we could see these wind gusts pushing 30, maybe even 40 miles an hour in some instances as they prepare to blow in essentially our next storm system, a cold front that's on its way. Skywatch Storm Tracker clear on the local level and clear as we zoom out for the time being. But in the next 24 hours or so, that is going to start to change. We do have a very low-end threat for some stronger storms in our very far western counties. If you're highlighted in the brown, here you could see some strong to severe level hail, and same here with the wind. This is still, again, tonight, a very low-end risk in those western counties, but there is the possibility of a stray strong storm or two. Tomorrow's when that changes a little bit. As you can see, this green here is a lower-end risk of some strong to possibly severe, low-grade severe storms, and the yellow is a better chance of some stronger to severe storms. As you can see, it comes right up to I-44 to the border here. Overall, we're at 3 to 10 o'clock tomorrow. Wind and hail would be the primary risks with any of the stronger storms. And then, of course, the heavy rain that we're still keeping an eye on. Between now and the time we actually see storms, wind gusts again pushing anywhere from 30, 35, upwards of 40 miles an hour ahead of the fronts. This is midnight tonight or tomorrow, however you want to say. And back behind me, I'll move over here. This is the front, and as it gets closer, the wind gusts really pick up until it gets right on the edge. So if you're behind it, yeah, it's a bit breezy, but if you're ahead of it, look at Miami, for example, possible 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The rain tracker, again, continuously updating. If you saw this morning, there was a core of heavier rain right through the heart of the viewing area. That's changed a little bit. We're still looking, though, at a total of maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain out of this system. Now to today. If you watch close enough, this is not time-lapse, this is live. These clouds are just being blown really well across the sky, and they are moving with a south-southwest breeze at about 18 miles an hour. It's 73 in Joplin right now, some partly cloudy skies before they will go back to being mostly cloudy. 71 Sedan, 68 in Neodesha, 70 in Parsons, 71 in Pittsburgh, and in Carthage at the noon hour. Going through the day, we're still on track for a high of about 75 under mostly cloudy skies. We may see a stray shower or two, say around 8 o'clock, but most of us will be dry. We'll stay a little bit on the breezy side this evening as well, and we might see a few more scattered showers tonight. And we'll drop back down to a low of 67 under otherwise mostly cloudy skies. So let's take a look at the future track. As we head through today and the rest of this afternoon, you can see where the cloudy skies do start to return. At around 2 a.m., there's a stray shower or two possible here and there. Same as we head into the early part of tomorrow morning around 8:30, but around that same time, cold front setting off showers and thunderstorms to our northwest. And as we head through the afternoon, they start to inch their way into our area. And then by 2:30 tomorrow, we get much more robust and much more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity across the area. By 5, pretty widespread shower and thunderstorm activity, but by about 8 o'clock or so, it starts to make its way on out of here, and then we're just left with the backside of that may give some of our counties some showers. Otherwise, it is considerably cooler after that. We're only 59 on Saturday, so we do have the alert day tomorrow because of the stronger storms and the possibility of some low-grade severe storms. Heading into Saturday, don't forget to set your clock back. You want to gain that extra hour of sleep on Sunday so you can enjoy the 70-degree weather. As we head into next week, we got some spotty morning showers on Election Day, otherwise 75, mostly cloudy. Look at Wednesday, 77 and partly cloudy. We return to the upper 70s for the second week of November.
You have a little bit of everything this weekend, though. We've got the rain on Friday, we've got cooler temperatures Saturday and warmer temperatures Sunday, and you get to sleep in.
Yeah, it's a packed forecast with a number of fun icons on there for the next several days.
A little bit of everything.
Just a little bit.
Except for snow.
No snow at this time, but I mean, you never know. I mean, we could get it in a week or two.
Maybe next
or
week.
a month. Nobody knows. We'll find out, though.
All right, thanks, Chris. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Harold Schmidt of Granby, Missouri. Schmidt was stationed in London, England during World War II. He served in the Army Air Force's 93rd Bomber Group. We're proud to salute Harold Schmidt, our four-state hero. If you haven't had your taste buds excited in a while, you need to try today's recipe. Howard shows us how to make his marmalade Dijon pork chops in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
60 years ago, Americans spent about 90 minutes each day eating dinner together. Now that time has dwindled to less than 12 minutes. It's something that can't be ignored. According to the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse, kids and teens who eat dinner 3 or more times per week with their families do better in school, are less likely to be overweight, are more likely to eat healthier, are less likely to get involved with drugs and alcohol, and have a better relationship with their parents. One way to get everyone to spend more time at the table is to serve them something they're gonna love. So how about sauteing a few thick-cut pork chops that we've dusted with some seasoned flour until they're golden? And to take them over the top, we simmer them in a sauce that we made by combining some orange marmalade, a splash of OJ, and a bit of Dijon mustard. Not only are these easy to make, but everyone at the table is gonna love them. And you know what that means. They're gonna wanna stick around looking for more. And while they're there, they'll be talking up a storm. To get the recipe for our marmalade Dijon pork chops, head over to our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found the perfect gather around the table way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Looks easy and delicious. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
Showers and thunderstorms really get going tomorrow afternoon and evening. Some of those could be strong to severe, so of course we'll keep an eye on that for you. It's why we have the alert day. After the front moves through, though, we're cool on Saturday, 59, and warming back up by Sunday, back into the upper 70s by the middle of next week.
Right, a reminder to set those clocks back.
Absolutely. You need that extra hour of sleep,
That's
so
right.
might as well take advantage.
Some of us need it more than others.
What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, with people now back to school and work, doctors fear the epidemic of eating disorders will get even worse. In Health Watch, why experts are now putting the focus on minorities and those who don't often have equal access to treatment. Plus, Erie construction students show off their latest project that goes up for auction tomorrow. And the Better Business Bureau warns voters about election-themed scams. Hope you join us for those stories, a lot more. Of course, it's all coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.